Well, time to see what's on the docket for today.
Ah, Rebel, as you can see here, this computer's been shut off. If you pay me just...
It's not shut off, it's asleep. Just wiggle the mouse around.
If you pay me just...
Who are you anyways? How did you even get in
If
here?
you pay me just... if you give me just 500 gems, I'll get this computer up and running for you.
What? You're just standing in front of my stuff. Just move out of the way.
Well, Rebel, if you don't want to pay me that 500 gems, then I guess
I don't
you'll
even have
just...
any gems. Screw this. I'm just gonna go watch TV.
Oh, Rebel, it looks like your office door's locked. If you pay me just 600 gems... Son of a bitch.
I hate dragons!
Very few games out there truly stand the test of time, but there's one series that I've loved since a kid, Spyro the Dragon. And that mainly might be because I've only played the first 3 console games and the first 2 GBA games, but that's besides the point. Spyro is amazing, and I'll never forget waking up in Christmas of 1999 to find a couple of PlayStation game-sized presents there, with one of them being Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, and I played it the entire morning. So today I'll be reliving the nostalgia when I play Spyro 2. That was a really good single take. Coming off of the successful sales figures of Spyro the Dragon, Insomniac Games quickly got to work developing a sequel, and taking everything they learned in the first game, they fine-tuned and refined everything so much, adding new moves, a bunch of new characters, new cutscenes, more Stuart Copeland, more lush environments, and actual bosses. Crazy. Initially in development as Spyro the Dragon 2, it released as Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, or Gateway to Glimmer for the PAL version. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why there was a regional difference in the name. I think I heard it was just that Sony Europe liked that name more. Well, they were wrong. And the box art for the NTSC version is better, and the logo, don't at me. Plus, Gateway to Glimmer doesn't even make sense. I mean, the main villain is Ripto. He rages. It's perfect. And the name for Ripto came from the way the name Spyro looks in Japanese. Pretty nifty. Anyways, the story starts with Spyro being pulled through a gateway into Glimmer. Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. So Spyro and Sparks are chilling in the rain, wanting to see the sun, so they head off to Dragon Shores, a place that, despite apparently being located in the center of Stone Hill, we've never heard of. And so much for the cliffhanger from the last game, huh? Anyways, they hop into the portal. Meanwhile, in Avalar, Allura, a goat,
I'm a fawn, you dork.
Hunter, a dude bro cheetah, and the professor, a brown... Oh, he's a mole, huh? Well, they're the 3 new side characters to the sequel, and they're messing around with some green orbs and a portal, talking about capturing a dragon, and man, I just want to say Toys for Bob killed it with these redesigns. Well, they catch a dragon, I guess only because Spyro was literally in a portal at the same exact time. Well, Ripto, the main villain of the game, destroys the portal. He spots Spyro and starts raging because he hates dragons. I don't know, man, seems like he just hates everything, but whatever. Allura has the fairy spread the orbs over Avalar, and Ripto, all pissed, storms off. Then Allura says that they have to follow Ripto and they'll meet you in Summer Forest. Then they dip, leaving Spyro in the first level of the game. And this is something I always liked about this game. It doesn't start you in a hub world, but has you start inside the first level. That is pretty unique. No hub to roam around first, right into the action. And Spyro's moveset is basically the same. Jump, glide, charge, fireballs. Wait, what? Fire breath, right? No fireballs. Cool. Yeah, it turns out if you've beat Spyro 2 100% on any save file, you start a brand new game with perma fireballs. Pretty cool, but I don't know, the fireball is small and travels straight ahead. The fire breath actually has spread. I found myself missing enemies and having to use multiple fireballs to end up hitting them, but there's no option to turn it off in the menu, which is crazy to me. Luckily, there's a cheat code that deactivates the perma fireballs. Left, right, R1, 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 square. You're welcome. I will say it was interesting getting this orb in the cave early without using the ladder, but since I knew I'd need the gems anyway and would have to come back, kinda pointless. But besides that bit of confusion, he has essentially the same moveset. However, Spyro can learn a few new moves. Swimming underwater, which is a great addition to the game. Climbing ladders, which, yeah, I don't know about this one honestly. It adds some verticality, I guess, but the whirlwinds do the same thing. I don't know. And head bash. When Spyro, well, it's a head bash, self-explanatory. And another more inconsequential move, mainly used to cause the player to backtrack to levels you beat before unlocking the head bash and maybe a secret orb or two. And the way you unlock these new moves is by purchasing them. There's another new character, Moneybags, who is quite literally the meta form of the current day paywall. And he not only sells you these moves, but will open level portals, open doors, and extend bridges if you pay him. And the game does introduce him in the first level, kind of getting you ready for what's to come. I will say they made him so much more annoying in the third game, like blatant with his greediness. In 2, he's not too bad. It is more annoying having to backtrack to levels after buying a new move than it is buying the new move. Anyways, you purchase these moves and bridges with gems you collect throughout Avalar. Gems being the only collectible that seems to be the Spyro universal. However, the chests these gems are found in have been redesigned for 2 and 3. Both flammable and metal chests now being more like jars. Same principle though. There's no longer a locked chest with a key, however the sealed chests requiring a fireball or a firework do return. And once again, redesign. And a brand new jar, the question mark jar. Found towards the end of a level, flaming or charging this will cause it to appear somewhere earlier in the level a few times until it breaks with gems. Also, gems don't drop from destroyed enemies this time. They do again in the third game, but not this one. Instead, their souls remain while their body poofs away. Their soul then flies away, and if the level has any power-up gates, the souls go there.
Spyro Afterlife is weird, man.
In the first game, you'd get temporary fireballs from a fairy's kiss, and you'd get supercharge from a hill with arrows. In this game, these power-ups are given through a gate powered by the souls of your slain opponents. There's also a spring gate that launches you up into the air, and an ice fireball, an ice ball one. I think maybe an invincibility one as well, in Mystic Marsh. Oh, and in Shady Oasis. So no gems in the enemies or something. I don't know where I was going with that. The 2 new collectibles being Orbs and Talismans. The orbs are pretty cool. While the first game had dragons and dragon eggs, pretty similar except one runs away from you, this game has orbs, sometimes hidden, but usually given after completing some sort of quest or mission. Some of them are pretty good, usually the hidden ones you have to find, but some of the quests are fun too. Some of them straight blow though. It is also pretty annoying that completing a quest or challenge will return you to the quest giver to give you the orb halfway through the level backwards. The orb bouncing animation is gone too in the reignited trilogy. Oh, and even though Hunter and the Professor know you're hunting for orbs, they just have some on them and just didn't give them to Spyro to begin with. Like, I'm sorry, I thought we were on the same frigging side. Then we have to find talismans given to Spyro after the end of most of the levels in the game, and in one case I'm pretty sure the talisman was stolen. Like, I know Spyro needs it, but it wasn't theirs to give away?
Communists.
And the talisman's purpose is collecting one from each level in a hub before progressing to the next hub. Which brings up the question, why aren't there talismans in the third hub? The levels just give you orbs. You don't even need to play the last 4 levels to beat the final boss, and I'm sorry, but this is such a weird choice. Like, there's so much emphasis on beating each of the 6 levels in the first hub, then such an emphasis on beating every one of the 8 levels in the second hub, then once you get to the third hub, you don't even need to play a level if you've gotten enough orbs. This just baffles me. And the difference needed between orbs to access the last level, 25 orbs, and the 40 orbs needed to battle Ripto, whatever. Ugh. So there's hubs, levels, and actual bosses. The bosses separate the hubs and the levels are spread out in the hub. The 3 hubs being Summer Forest, Autumn Plains, and Winter Tundra. Surprisingly and somewhat unbelievably, Insomniac has said that they have never even planned on a spring-themed homeworld. Apparently they thought that flowers and Glimmer was enough. I kid you not. Well, anyways, having 4 seasons and 3 hub worlds based on only 3 of the 4 seasons, the hubs also have a different number of levels each, being 6 levels, 8 levels, and 4 levels, and that division does seem strange as well. But in general, I really dig the hub worlds here. They're pretty big and full of secret orbs. There's just something about seeing an orb far away bouncing and trying to figure out how to get to it that is just so much fun. And yeah, I do love the hubs here. Also, enemies are no longer in the hub worlds in this game or 3, making them a little more peaceful than in the first game.
Yeah, the hub worlds here might be my favorite hubs in the original trilogy, which is kind of weird because I'd call the overall level design in Spyro 2 just good when compared to the other 2 games.
Yeah, the levels in this game are great platformer levels, but I think Spyro the Dragon set a precedent with some of the secret areas that Spyro 2 just wasn't able to pull off here. But they're still pretty great levels regardless. They're more open, and not just the open-ended levels, but the more linear levels are more open as well. It makes them seem bigger, but at the same time, they feel a little more empty. And sometimes the best part of the levels would be an orb section of the level. Each level starts and ends with a cutscene. They're pretty cute, but honestly, I don't think that they're needed. I think 3's style works perfectly, but the intro cutscene shows the problem Spyro has to quote-unquote resolve by simply reaching the end of the level. And there are NPCs that you'll talk to along the way.
Thank you for releasing me.
Son of a bitch.
And while I know in Spyro 3 there are at a minimum of 3 times you need to backtrack to a level to play a new character section, I'm pretty sure you can buy Sheila before playing Sunny Villa, but the other 3 playable NPCs do require backtracking through 1 level each for their own section. But here you have to backtrack for each new skill, and what's worse is needing to replay sections of levels that end up taking a while for no other reason than waiting. Idle Springs, for example. Once you swim, you have to swim in the lake. You'll need to progress basically to the end of the stage to complete that quest, which means waiting for these stupid NPCs to dilly-dally all the way to these doors to open them, while I just sit there. I will say that their animation is on point for how they be acting. And of course the orb in Fracture Hills, where if you do it before learning the head bash, you'll need to do that quest again to do the second quest. So lame. But as far as the level themes go, I dig them. They're way more diverse than the first game, but the third game takes the cake for theme diversity. The interesting thing about the level themes for this game is that almost every level was originally meant to share the main name with another location, while the second part of the level name would end up changing. Colossus Springs and Colossus Steps, which became Idle Springs and Colossus. Aquaria Towers remained the same, while Aquaria Beach became Sunny Beach. Zephyr Meadows and Zephyr Harbor became just Zephyr and Breeze Harbor. Skelos Badlands remained the same, while Skelos Glacier became Crystal Glacier. Fracture Hill remained the same, while Fracture Cone was changed to Magma Cone. Scorch Dunes and Scorch Catacombs became Scorch and Shady Oasis. Mystic City becoming Cloud Temples and Mystic Savannah turning into Mystic Marsh. Metropolis Spires into Metropolis and Metropolis Acres into Robotica Farms. I also like how they named the 100% reward Super Bonus Round, and while they didn't call it that in Spyro 2, that is what they named the bonus stage in Spyro 3. So that's pretty awesome. And there was evidence of this being the plan due to dialogue that remained the same in the original game, mentioning these levels by name. Plus you have the cavemen from Skelos levels being the same, and the friendly NPCs in Breeze Harbor being the enemies in Zephyr, and vice versa. A very nice touch. And then you have the flying levels, basically just like how they were in the first game. 4 different items you need to destroy groups of. However, after destroying all the items, you can then talk to a somewhat hidden NPC somewhere in the level to give you a flying quest for an orb involving Hunter. So that's pretty cool. I will say the skill points for beating the main part of this level are super annoying. Not a fan. However, I am learning that the skill points aren't new to the Reignited trilogy. They were in the original. I swear I didn't know that, but after learning that, I do vividly remember randomly getting a life for doing something and just being super confused. Now I know.
But the skill points are more so end-of-game content anyway, and the flying levels aren't needed for progression. You only really need to go to the levels to get the talismans, to get to the bosses, to fight Crush, Gulp, and Ripto. Which honestly sounds like the motto of an energy drink.
Gulp, Crush, Ripto.
So first, between the first and second hub, you'll fight Crush, who has a big club to crush stuff. Easy to remember. And he'll get power-ups that you'll have to avoid. Blame him to make him chase you. He'll slam his club, and the ceiling will fall in, damaging him. And that's all there is to it.
Hey, I said they were actual boss fights. I never said they were good boss fights.
Then is Gulp, and you can remember his name because he eats Ripto's scepter, gulping it up. And while Gulp was somewhat easy to beat in the original version, he's actually pretty damn frustrating here, and I have absolutely no idea why, but man, I kept dying and I was not enjoying it. Wait a second. Left, right, R1, 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 square? Huh. Sue me. He'll shoot these green things out, and you'll try to hit him with bombs or rockets or metal barrels. I don't know why I was having such an issue with this, but whatever. I guess I'm not alone in thinking he's terrible in the Reignited trilogy, though. And lastly, we have Ripto. Hunter will drop powered up orbs, and when you or Ripto collect 3, you'll get the power correlating with the last orb color. After that battle, Ripto will summon a metal Gulp, hop on him, and repeat. Then Ripto creates a metal pterodactyl, and you have to get the perma-flight fireball power up, fly around, hit him, and yeah. Only thing that really bugs me here is dying on the last part and having to start the whole fight over from the beginning. What the fuck? Well, assuming you don't die and have to restart, Ripto falls into the lava, never to be heard from again. Never to be heard from again. Alora thanks you, Hunter's strong arms and Moneybags, into giving you all of the gems you paid him, and it's off to Dragon Shores, the bonus stage, and this is pretty fun. It's a lot like a carnival with different activities. There's a firing range where you shoot fireballs at targets, a roller coaster which has some varying paths, and the last time gives you a cannon. Pretty cool. Then there's a dunk tank and a tunnel of love that you just watch. They're alright, and if you've gotten all the gems and orbs, you get perma fireballs. Nope, not falling for that again. And obviously I did play the Reignited trilogy for this video, and yeah, there are a few noticeable differences between this version of the game and the original. Of course, there is the graphics. The characters are amazing and the levels are so beautiful. A few things of note, they changed Bombo to Bob. I mean, I know why they did it, but dude's still throwing bombs. I don't know. And a skeleton you have to get all the bones of in an orb challenge. Well, he flosses. It's terrible and I hate it. Also, I want to make a correction. In the Spyro 1 retrospective, I incorrectly stated that Stuart Copeland returned to make the new title song and helped freshen up all of the tracks. That's wrong. He did come to make the new title song and approved of the reimagined versions of his soundtracks. My mistake, but regardless, they're Stuart Copeland songs and they're amazing. Once again, the new music is dynamic, so it'll change when standing or charging or swimming, and once again, you can opt to have the original music. Always opt for the original music. Always. And the soundtrack this time is just as amazing as the first game. It's unmistakably Spyro through and through. All the songs here are more unique, differing from Spyro 1 in the reoccurring melodies throughout the various songs, but man, the melodies are awesome. Obviously, the drums really stick out, being that that's Stuart Copeland's main forte. I will say the hubs not really having percussions is a little strange. It's kind of just ambient noise, and it's cool. I think I'd just rather have another actual song, but yeah, what you gonna do? Also, I just want to say, Fracture Hill. Yeah, that'll get stuck in my head, and I do not like that. And that's Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, an amazing game in my favorite franchise growing up. And while I might not think that the progression is the best of the trilogy, and I think the overall level design and level layout is probably the weakest of the 3, this was my favorite game. Until Year of the Dragon came out. And once Reignited came out, I did notice that the way that I felt about the games somewhat changed. I used to think they got progressively better with 1 to 2 to 3. Then after replaying the Reignited trilogy for the first time, I kind of thought it was backwards, 1 being the best, 2 second best, 3 the worst. However, now, after replaying the trilogy once again, I feel like, hey!
Oh no, someone took Rebel's camera. If you want it back, send 1,000 gems.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. Thanks a lot for watching. If you did, then feel free to drop that like button. I mean, you've you made it this far anyway. You obviously enjoyed it enough to keep watching it. And make sure you're subscribed if you're not. Hit the notification bell, I guess. I mean, that's always just optional. Share the video on another platform if you would like to. That always helps out a bunch. Coming up next time, we're going to be taking a look at the levels in Ripto's Rage. If you are a regular here, then you probably already know what I'm going to be doing. After that, though, I think I might be taking a look at the best and worst orbs in the game. Oh, because there are some fun orbs and there are some terrible orbs. And then after that, we're moving on to Year of the Dragon, obviously, where I'll probably end up doing the same exact thing. Yeah. And until next time, peace.